Hi, I'm Tanner with Transwest Truck Trailer RV here in Frederick, Colorado. Today we're going to an inventory unit. This is a nice little LQ. I really like this LQ. This is something I would personally pull myself if I was out on the trail rodeo and anything like that. It's a nice little setup. It's a 2025 Ciamrron Norstar 3-horse living quarter. Got some really nice options, Outlaw, Proline, 13.8. Really nice trailer. So we're gonna walk around this trailer, talk about the inside, the LQ features outside. Great options on this trailer, so we'll get started. Again, it is a 13.8 Proline by Outlaw Conversions. Before we jump in, I'll give you kind of the rundown between Proline and a full Outlaw. If you do a Proline with Outlaw, you're getting the same Outlaw conversion quality. You're getting the same, hardwood, same options. They just limit us a little bit about what we can change as far as colors, wood stains, stuff like that. You can't go with a Proline and go, I'm gonna build the craziest trailer I've ever done. They just kind of keep things a little more contained so they can build trailers with the same footprint a little quicker for you guys. But again, you're still getting the same quality as Outlaw, it's just their Proline version. So again, 13.8 Proline, we're gonna jump right into the LQ. We have a fold-up step, standard on not only our LQs, but even our using trailers. This is something Ciamrron does. Great little fold-up step. You don't have to worry about, pulling a step out from under the trailer, having a camper-style step that'll get ripped off. Just tucks away really nice with the gas shock. Entry door to the LQ, soft touch on your entry door. We do have a snap cover for that window so you guys can block out all the light if you need to, or tuck it away if you want some light while you're traveling. Before we jump in, we do have a magnetic type screen door. I like these a lot better than your camper style screen doors that tend to latch over here. That always seems like something on them's broke, whether it's the latch, the screen itself, something like that. With this magnetic style, we don't have those options, and again, it kind of tucks away back in that corner with that roll style. Really nice setup on that screen door. We work our way in, again, 13.8 with the slide. We do have our dinette in the slide. I like this setup. It's really similar to our 14-foot setup, but again, in a smaller little package. I like the smaller layout, again, just because if you're rodeoing, you're traveling, stuff like that. This little small layout, it gives you all the amenities. You get 2 sleeping areas, but again, it's a small package that you can kind of run down the road. Super efficient in, you're not hauling, a huge trailer. This trailer's only 28 foot on the floor. Easily getting to fuel stations, even car stations. You're not having to go to truck stops. It's a really nice setup. Cool thing about it is this is, the dinette setup, how we have it right now. If you need to sleep someone on this, you can easily pull a couple levers. This is you'll pull your levers down low, you'll push down. This kind of runs on a similar piston. You got to put a little force into it, put a little weight to it. You'll slide it all the way down and latch it in place, and then there's a cushion here in the cabinet back here. You can lay down, and this will make out into a nice bed that you can sleep on with. As part of that dinette, we do have these big storage cabinets in here. I think these are great for storing bedding and stuff like that, blankets, because you never really have a big enough cabinet where you're not wanting to take up closed space, where you're fighting storage in a smaller LQ like this. So by having those big under dinette storages, you do kind of gain a lot of places to put bedding. And the cool thing about them is if you don't want to access them from kind of those drawers, if you're trying to get something way to the back and you don't want to fight having to get on your hands and knees and reach way back there, you can access them from the top as well. So again, it's the little things Outlaw does. Not only their quality, but kind of their ingenuity when they engineer these trailers to kind of get as much out of the space as they possibly can, but also make stuff user friendly for you guys. So again, dinette setup. We have valances here wrapping our windows. This is something that, again, if you're wanting to build more of a custom full Outlaw, you're gonna get to pick everything. You get to pick your valance colors, your accent colors on your sofas, stuff like that. So it's, again, that's kind of the better option if you're looking to build, a really, really cool trailer and you want to build it like a house. Pick all your options. Pick how you want your lights, your cabinets, your cabinet knobs, pretty much everything. You'll want to go with that Outlaw option, not this Proline option. But granted, again, you can see the detail in the construction that still goes into the production model as far as this Proline XP. Again, under seat storage on this side, same as our other side. We have overhead cabinet storage. The thing about building LQs, even big LQs, I know this is a small package, is you got to try and fit storage pretty much wherever you can. So it's kind of going to be your home away from home, and that's one thing we struggle with. Outlaw go through the rivers trying to engineer something that not only works for you guys, but try to fit storage pretty much wherever they can. To work our way up in the nose, we do have cabinet storage here on our driver's side wall. Again, nice area for storage there. Below that is our kind of control deck for the trailer. So you're gonna be able to control your speakers inside, outside with this, AM, FM radio, auxiliary, Bluetooth, stuff like that. Again, another big cabinet here next to that. Up in our nose, again, big storage cabinet here for kind of storing some stuff that you're gonna need to access while you're up in your nose. We work our way around, again, nice valances, day-night blinds, so you can have two kind of options as far as do you want some light, do you want no light, stuff like that. Big wardrobe up front. That is a great place to store your big comforters for this bed. That's what I always tucked in there. Stuff that you're not really going to readily access because you got to climb up there on your hands and knees. But it's a great place to store like pillows, stuff like that. Keep them out of the way so you're not using your usable storage down here. You have light switches up there. This is something little that I like to point out just because you don't want to crawl out of bed, come down here and turn off your main switch. You do have a big switch up there so you can shut all these off, crawl in bed, read, watch TV, do what you need to do. You can easily click that switch right next to you and shut the trailer down. Work our way, I should probably talk about the couch a little bit because I'm standing in the way of it. We do have a 72-inch fold-out sofa sleeper. This is a really nice setup. Again, they're super comfortable. Nice roll top, which I like this design because I feel like it's the most comfortable versus like a flat design couch. This nice roll top that they do gives you a little more cushion, a little more accent. Below that is going to be your fresh water storage. We ran into an issue the other day, so not an issue, but customer could not find their drain for their fresh water tank. There is a valve if you're looking to drain your fresh water tank, whether it's in the winter to winterize, de-winterize. It is going to be in this layout, but 90% of the time under your couch or under your dinette, wherever your fresh water tank is, there will be a valve tucked away somewhere, and it's a simple two-way twist valve. It's usually in the dead space behind your tank. So if you're needing to drain that tank, you can get on your hands and knees, you'll find that valve, twist it, and it'll completely drain that tank if you're looking to watch out for a freeze or something like that. But again, our 72-inch fold-out sleeper folds out, nice sleeping area. You're gonna get a little more space in your dinette. This is technically 72 inches, but you lose a little bit of wood framing on your dinette. Where this, you get the full, 6-foot couch. It's super easy to use, super comfortable. I slept on one when I was growing up, traveling with my family, and I can't complain. Fuse box down low by the door here. Again, if you have really anything in your trailer, GFI trip, anything like that, 90% of the time it's gonna be a fuse if you can't get a light to work, something like that, maybe a breaker. But it is usually located right by the steps to your LQ, in that general vicinity, maybe behind a cover, something like that. Do have hat rack holders above the door. Something super simple that you would never think, man, this is gonna make a huge difference. 90% of the time you're throwing hats places that are, they're stacked in your kitchen sink if you're traveling with a bunch of guys, or stacked in your trunk or your truck where they can get dirty, stepped on, sat on. Great place to just tuck a cowboy hat away, keep it nice and neat while you're traveling. You always know where it's at. It's not, again, in a corner, getting stepped on, anything like that. For our kitchenette area here, do have our kitchen sink. Nice porcelain sink here. Next to that is our glass cooktop. Again, giving you counter space. You can, not having as much workable space as possible. Sink takes up a lot of space. We can't really fit more counter space, so we do something like this that gives you a flat surface to store stuff on. If you're gonna cut something, I will say throw a cutting board on top of this. Don't just go cutting straight on the glass. But again, it is a 2-burner cooktop. You can run it gas. It's got its own lighter, so you don't need to carry a actual lighter with you. But again, I do suggest you carry one. Not for your trailer stuff, but just your general kind of trailer traveling package setup. Again, 2-burner cooktop, glass to give you a little more counter space. Really nice setup here. We do have light underneath for our stove fan, wrong switch. You do have an exhaust fan, so again, while you're cooking, you can get all them fumes out of here. Microwave above that. Big style cabinet with shelf in here next to that. Down low, you're gonna have 3 drawers. Again, just simple pull-out drawers. They are locking type drawers. You don't have to worry about them coming open while you're traveling. Big cabinet door here. Again, you can get some stuff stored in there, but that is where you're gonna have access to your hot water heater. You will notice how Outlaw does everything. All their plumbing is PEX. Everything is gonna be color coordinated, red for hot, blue. Their wiring underneath this trailer is gonna be the same as well. So if you have a wiring issue, anything like that, an electrician can immediately go to the trailer. All the wires are gonna be labeled. It's a super clean process. I mean, these trailers are engineered more than probably any trailer brand out there as far as when you combine Cimarron with Outlaw. Big fridge here with separate freezer. It's not your typical, one fridge where you have a pocket freezer above. You're gonna have your big freezer type above, big fridge below. Again, some nice pull-out drawers down low where you can store some fruit and vegetables, stuff like that, keep stuff organized. It will run gas or electric, so again, you can either run your generator like we have ran now. We do have our smart TV up top, so again, it is a Vizio. You can, like right now, I just have it on local channels, but you can do Netflix, Hulu, connect it to Wi-Fi on your phone, stuff like that, and you get some nice storage behind there as well. They mount it to that cabinet door, so you can angle it out if you're watching it up from the bed, but also, we talked about storage a little bit in the beginning of the video. By doing a cabinet instead of just your typical fold-out arm, you're getting that little nook of storage back there to, again, get as much stuff from home as possible while you're traveling. All your control units for this trailer, excuse me, again, are mounted right here next to your fridge. This is typically where they're going to be mounted on 90% of these Outlaw layouts, is right next to the fridge. One thing I want to point out, the most common question we get when we're, we do a walk, we get this trailer delivered, they call us a month later, they're going to use it, and they go, hey, my propane's not working, can't get my stove lit, I can't get my fridge to work. 99% of the time it is going to be this little black valve on your newer Cimarrons. This is what it'll look like. Older Cimarrons, it's going to be the same stuff, not the same valve, but it'll be a different control unit. 90% of the time, if you can't get propane to work in your Cimarron, you can walk right over here and click this valve button. You'll click that, and when it lights up green next to valve, it opens a safety valve on the floor that again allows that propane to flow. So if you're not getting any propane, 90% of the time it is going to be, you just got to walk over here and push that button. So I like to point that out. Again, AC, heat controls, water pump, water heater controls. You do have the option to run your hot water heater both gas or electric. Don't run them the same time that way. Again, the gas is going to heat it a lot faster than the electric. But if you're in a bind and you're out of propane, you still have the option to run it on electric. So we work our way back into this bathroom. Again, pretty roomy bathroom for a 13.8. If you jump up to the 14.6 or maybe a 15 foot, you're going to gain most of that in your bathroom. So keep that in mind if you're trailer shopping around. But again, a nice porcelain toilet. Toilet paper roll holder next to that toilet as well. This is probably going to be your main source of storing clothes, shirts, anything like that in this trailer. Huge double hanging closet. You can't see, but there is another rod here behind our padding. We showed you how that dinette would fold down. So with that, when you fold that dinette down, this will sit on top of where that table is. So it's a nice area to store the cushion to make that dinette into a bed. And then again, you will notice you are getting another tabletop from Outlaw. There is a leg for it back there. Again, they like to give you this because you're limited on counter space. I mean, there's no question about it, especially in a smaller setup like this. They give you the option that you get this matching countertop to the rest of the trailer. Comes on a carpet foot, and you can slide that around. If you need more counter space in here, you need a place to have more people eat, you want to eat off the couch, or you can take it outside underneath that awning, set it up, have a nice table outside. Again, and this will stay with the trailer. It matches, just giving you guys as much usability in a smaller setup like this as possible. Nice mirror mounted here. We do have the pass-through door in this setup to your stall area, so you can use this as a nice mud room. If you're only hauling a couple of horses, you maybe overnight and you want to check on them, you're keeping them loaded for a couple hours, taking a nap, you can easily check on them. Use it as a mud room through your escape door. Nice pass-through door. Big medicine cabinet here, again, storing everything while you're traveling. Nice big mirror on there. Same style sink as our kitchen sink, and again, we do get to pick some stuff, so don't feel like if you're ordering a trailer and you have to spend the extra money to go full Outlaw to pick what you want. You can pick some stuff. You're going to get to pick, what do you want your sink spouts to be, and that'll just kind of design your trailer. You're going to get to pick what you want your stains to be, stuff like that. You're just not going to be able to come in here and go, oh, I want this special sink I saw at Home Depot, and they'll special order it for you. You got to kind of stick with the options they provide with the ProLine package. Down low, nice little shelf storage area. You will have some furnace access there that kind of eats up some of that. So again, you are AC'd and furnace. We do have outlets mounted here underneath, so again, you can hair dryer, anything like that. You have easy access to that hair dryer outlet underneath your sink. I'll sneak out so you can see. We do have power vent here up in the ceiling, so again, if you're showering, you can exhaust those fumes out. You can pull fresh air in, kind of whatever you need to do in that certain situation while you're showering. Pocket door next to me so you can close off this. It is latched to the floor for travel. Nice little latch because you don't want this banging back and forth while you travel. But again, nice pocket door here. Shower, super nice. We'd like to do skylights in and we don't have to. And the reason we do that is everyone always asks us, why can't we get rid of this about a foot base at the bottom to get any more headroom? They have to design these with a P-trap, and there's no way to fit a P-trap below the trailer. It has to kind of stay in the LQ. So the only reason that is there is to have a P-trap so it operates correctly. So we like to throw that skylight in to kind of, for your taller folks, they have a little more headroom in there. We understand it's not going to be like home, but again, we're trying to give you guys the best possible outcome for having a, a nice travel rig in this trailer. Kind of work our way out. Again, nice setup. If you have any questions, you can always call and talk about some options, ProLine versus Outlaw. But again, no matter what option you go with, you're getting probably the top, LQ manufacturer out there, combined with the best trailer manufacturer out there. You're really getting the best of both worlds. So we work our way, we're going to start talking about kind of some trailer features. We do have our big awning run out. You do have strip LED lights. Again, they're going to be kind of hard to see in the video because we're doing it during daytime. You have a full strip of LED lights here underneath your awning. We do have outlet power here. Again, I like doing this because I always carry a portable smoker with me, something like that, a grill you can plug in, a Blackstone. You're going to be out of your trailer. Everyone, I don't want to say everyone, but most people I know, when they're at rodeos, they're at shows and they're staying overnight, yeah, it's great to hang out in your LQ. Most of the time you're going to see people hanging out in lawn chairs until it's time to go in, maybe watch a movie, something like that. They're going to be hanging out here in lawn chairs, listening to music, talking to friends that they only get to see on the weekend, stuff like that. So again, it's a great place to plug something in. You can cook outside, hang out outside. Keep working our way down. We do have speakers on or outside, again, making this kind of an entertainment area. You can fit more people under this awning than you can in the trailer, so it's a great way to hang out outside, especially in those summer months when we're all traveling. Working our way down, we do have two 16-inch LED awning lights on the driver's side of this trailer. Again, giving you guys enough light to be able to saddle off this side. Early morning, late nights, we really like to light our trailers up so you can do stuff in the dark. We do have drop windows on our hip side. Again, full drop windows. 3-horse, you're getting big drop windows. 3 tie rings. We are on 2 8,000-pound Dexter rubber torsion axles. These are the chrome spoke wheels. We do have a black option as well. Again, wheel options are going to vary between what spoke you have, what time of year it is, what vendor they're using. But again, we usually like to give you guys an option of black or spoke when you're ordering. We just went with the chrome for this guy. Up top, this is probably our best angle to see it. We do have a Onan 4000 gas generator up here. We have a 6-foot sheeted hay rack up there as well to give you guys enough options to carry hay. There is going to be a deck platform up there as well. It is a little bit of an upgrade like we did on this to do the deck. Sometimes you will see that generator just mounted straight to the roof. I like the deck option because it gives you a place that is perfectly flat to stand on. You're not standing on the roof. You have a nice deck up there to easily throw your hay on and off this trailer versus having to kind of manangle on the roof. I also want to mention, as we're talking about the roof, we always talk about our Cimarron roofs, you know, adding insulation factor, you know, hail resistance, stuff like that. One of the other cool things we forget to mention a lot is you can walk anywhere on this roof. Most aluminum sheeted trailers, you're going to have to kind of find your roof bow, step around and walk on the roof bows. This trailer, you can just go and walk absolutely anywhere on that roof without having to worry about anything creasing, breaking, falling through, anything like that. In this shorter setup, again, we are 28 foot on the floor. If you want to do a full rear tack, you're going to add a lot of length. This is kind of our smaller package, our more condensed run and gun trailer versus, you know, we're staying at a show for 3 weeks type trailer. So we do just have our folding rear tack on this trailer, kick mat wall where our bridles and stuff are going to hang, brush tray sitting here. This is a 3-compartment brush tray. So again, fly spray, show sheen, you're going to have plenty of room. It doesn't look like much, but you can jam a lot of stuff in a brush tray, I know from experience. I also know from experience that a lot of stuff that you let sit over winter, when you come out and start using it again in the spring, your brush tray can get pretty nasty. So it's pretty easy to come in here. It's going to self-drain itself a little bit, but then you can just hose out the rest of the gunk and let it drain out of your drains in the bottom of that brush tray. For our folding rear tack room, it is a removable post. I like the removable post because a lot of times you're not only using this for your horses, you're using it for ATVs, UTVs, stuff like that. So if you need that extra room to load stuff, you can pull that post out, throw it in your tack room at home, fold this folding wall over, and then you kind of just have more of a straight load, easy access trailer, giving you guys a little more loading room. On that removable post, this trailer has 3-tier saddle rack, 2 blanket bars. Again, these are modular, so you can adjust them however you want. If you want to throw a 3rd blanket bar in, you can easily just slip it in at the top. If you're only ever hauling 2 saddles, 1 blanket, you can gain yourself some more room in here, just taking them out and throwing them in your tack room. Everything is super easy to use. If you want to fold this tack room over, it's super easy. You have a pin at the top, pin at the bottom. Once you pull that out, you just pull those pins and it'll fold over itself and then pin to your latch up top. LED light in here, giving you guys enough light in your tack room to see. And then again, 2 8-inch LED lights above, giving you enough room to see your outside tack. And then again, loading horses, you can see what you're doing, your horses can see what they're doing. We like to give you guys plenty of light on the load side, again, to kind of help you guys avoid a wreck if possible. In our stall area, we are just rubber mats over a 4-inch centered aluminum floor. We always talk about Cimarron's floor. It is the strongest floor in the horse trailer industry. Everything is on 4-inch centers versus most manufacturers can be maybe 12 to 16-inch centers. And that's when you see in kind of those older aluminum sheeted, or even some of your newer manufacturers, where if you've been running that trailer for 5 or 6 years, you'll kind of see that floor bow in between your floor supports, and that's where that urine is going to collect and start eroding your floor. So not only is it strong, it adds that longevity to the trailer because you're not getting urine pooling necessarily in one area. It's spread out over the trailer. We do suggest you still at least once a year pull your mats, hose your trailer out, put baking soda down, or you can just go ahead and worm floor this and never have to worry about pulling mats or your floor going bad again. In our stall area, First stall is a full stud stall. These are padded dividers. These are the airflow type dividers. So you're usually going to get a couple options on trailers when we build them. You're going to come look at them. We're going to have an airflow type like this where it's bar type up high, bar type on your head grill so your horses can see each other. They call them airflow to manipulate the airflow. Again, you're probably getting a little more air flowing. I like them just so your horses can see each other. A lot of your horses, if you're traveling with them consistently, they get a little sour because they're just always together. They're together at the barn, they're together in the trailer, they're together at the fairgrounds when you're rodeoing. They're just always together and they get a little sour. So allowing them to, see each other, they're going to haul, I think, a lot better in my opinion. Rear divider is a partial type, no stud on this guy. Again, bar type as well. Your front stall with that stud stall, we talked a little bit about it when you're running through the LQ. You are going to have this pass-through door from your LQ. I like it because it kind of serves two options with this stud stall. You can use this as a mud room. A lot of times, summer months, you get done rodeoing, especially if you're doing an event that's on the ground, rough stock, anything like that. You're going to get muddy, you're going to get dirty. You can use this as a mud room. You can come in here, hose off, take your dirty clothes off, take your dirty boots off, and go through here. Versus having to track all the way through your mud room or your LQ to get to your shower. Again, that way you're tracking mud through your LQ. This way you go right into the shower, clean off. You're keeping your LQ a little more organized. But also, if you're only hauling 2 horses, this serves as a great storage area. Again, you're not having to crawl on the roof to load hay. You can easily haul your 2 horses in the back, stack hay, stack grain, stack totes, access it through your escape door. Again, that kind of defeats the purpose if you're hauling 3, but again, if you're only hauling 2, great option for storage and a mudroom into your living quarters. This is a manger trailer. So again, you're going to get feed bunks in here, built in standard. I love these manger trailers. Again, you're building the 8-wide trailer. Your horse's head's not necessarily going to hit this wall, so you're not necessarily losing any room, but you gain so much usability with it as far as being able to, grain, hay, whatever you need to do here, hose it out, drain it, keep everything nice and clean. And it also gives you that storage on the outside of the trailer. I always say if you're doing an LQ, everyone always worries about that manger eating up their horse's room in here. You're still getting roughly the same amount of room chest to butt on your horse, and their head's overhanging that manger. I'll never say a horse won't never fit in a trailer, but 99% of your horses are going to be fine if you run mangers in your trailer. It's probably the most often asked questions I get asked about mangers is, well, my horse is losing room. Not necessarily, because it's just dead room underneath their neck where they're traveling. We do have two-way roof vents built into our ceiling in all of our Cimarrons. Pretty much we're going to do 1 vent per stall when we order these trailers. You're in a great setup. You can pull air in with those, pull air out, get fresh, clean air flowing over your horse's back. Everything is lined and insulated in the Norstar model, whether it's a living quarter like this or a using trailer. So again, you're going to be cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Your horses are going to haul that better for you guys. LED lit in our stall area as well. So again, if you're checking on your horses, if you're stopping at a gas station, you easily click a light on, make sure they're hauling all right. Again, if it's late night and you need to offload, you can light this trailer up and pretty much be able to see whatever you need to see to avoid, a horse stepping off wrong, you stepping off wrong, getting stepped on. The more light, the better on these trailers. So we work our way around to our driver's side of this trailer. A couple features. We do have, Ciamrron big drop windows, our manger doors. We'll get to those in a second. We do have an easy angle ladder mounted to our rear tack room door. Again, this is a great product. Everyone who's ever used this thinks it's the coolest thing ever just because they're not having to climb up straight to get to their hay rack. Again, I don't suggest climbing on it with the door open. So again, that door would be shut, but you can see how easy it is to get that ladder off and open. That way you're going up to your hay rack at an angle versus having to, monkey up a straight vertical ladder. Anyone who's ever got these thinks they're the coolest thing ever. They're super easy to use, and I agree. But again, working more our horse trailer side, we are big Ciamrron drop windows. Again, they're a 3-way window. You can run your little sliding type in them. You can also drop them like I just had them as well. Travel, get lots of airflow for your horses. And then again, if you're checking on your horses, maybe you're on a 10-hour trip, but it's hitting, evening time when they're about ready to get fed. You can easily grab your feed out of that front stall if you're storing it there, wherever you have your feed stored, drop this jail bar, feed, grain your horses, tie, untie. If you're unloading, check on your horses, all from the outside. Everything just operates so smoothly on these Ciamrron designs. Another thing I want to point out, everything on these Ciamrron trailers that is hingeable is going to be greasable. So our windows are greasable, our manger doors are greasable, rear doors are greasable, everything is greasable. So that way if you do get a sticky door, easily just hook a grease gun up, loosen it up. That way it's not squeaking for you guys. Most manufacturers are not going to do this for you guys, and if you do get a stuck door, you're either going to have to, PB blaster it, WD-40 it, which doesn't work as great, or you're gonna have to, you know, take a torch, heat up that door, re-lube it. It's a lot more of a job than taking 2 seconds to just grease your door. So again, it's the little things like that that Ciamrron does, kind of sets them apart. We do have our gas fill here on our trailer, so it's really easy, especially on a setup like this. This size of trailer usually works out pretty decent in a 2-pump gas station to where you can fuel your truck at the front pump. You're dang close at the back to where you can fuel, you know, your generator and your truck at the same time on this size of trailer. Now, if you get to a bigger trailer, you're probably gonna have to, you know, pull forward. This size of trailer usually works out pretty well for those dimensions. 16-inch LED awning light up high. Again, giving you guys enough light while you're saddling. We do have another one positioned a little more forward to light up really the whole side of this trailer. So we talked about the benefits of the manger inside, again, giving you a place to feed, grain, easily clean, stuff like that, but it also gives you this storage on the outside. Again, we mention it all the time. The biggest problem with the LQs is they're great, you get a home away from home, but you're kind of limited on storage, especially if you're, you know, using a traveling trailer like this. It's gonna be on the road all the time. This gives you plenty of storage in this mangers. Lawn chairs, again, if you're hauling a little smoker, a little Blackstone, it can fit away in here. Buckets, grain sacks, totes, anything like that. Nice area, great storage. This is an outside view of that escape door. Again, fold up step, giving you guys that easy access if you're storing stuff in there or if you're using it as more of a mud type room. In our escape door, we do have another Cimarron drop window. It's not gonna be as big as our other drop windows because we have to fit it within the framing. But again, another great drop window, really maximizing airflow for this trailer. Slide out, kicked out. Again, this slide out does have an awning above it. So if you do get into some moisture, some rain and stuff like that, that awning is gonna trap that and run it out. We'll finish off up here at the nose of our trailer with kind of our utility area here. We do have outside spigot on this trailer. This is gonna run directly from that fresh water tank I showed you underneath that couch. Again, great place to fill horse buckets. You're always gonna have water with you. You can utilize that fresh water tank underneath that couch. You can water your horses if you're traveling, top your water tank off when you get there. Above that spigot is gonna be our freshwater fill for that tank as well. So you can see how easy it is. If you get where you're going, you need some more water, you can just run a hose, fill that up. Always have fresh water on board your trailer as well. Up underneath our nose of this trailer, or down underneath our nose, we do have two 30-gallon propane tanks or 30-pound propane tanks. Above that is our dual battery compartment. I talked a little bit about how everything is wired in these trailers. You will see everything is labeled. Recharge, recharge, jack positive. Everything is labeled. Everything is nice and tight and organized. It makes it so easy if you have a problem to trace a wire through this trailer. Make any repairs you need. I mean, if they're doing their wiring that tight and that nice, just imagine everything else Outlaw is doing on this trailer as well. Everything is coming equipped, not only this LQ, but using trailer as well with this RedArc system. What this RedArc system does is typically when you hook a trailer to your truck, you're just getting kind of a light trickle charge while you travel. This RedArc is going to convert that into more of a rapid charge on these trailers. So again, you're traveling or maybe you do have dead batteries, you can easily hook to your truck, get those batteries charged up and be able to utilize these dual hydraulic jacks on here. Again, dual hydraulic jacks, you are going to be able to manually override these if you do end up with dead batteries. If you're utilizing your battery cutoff switch, you're not really going to have to worry about it, but again, you can hand crank these up in an emergency. Matching wheel and tire to the rest of the tires on the trailer. Again, a good view of how tight all the wiring is here. It's just, they go above and beyond to really make everything nice and neat for you guys. We'll finish off up here at our coupler. We are a 2 5/16 B&W coupler. It is lockable with a padlock. If you don't want to go and get, you know, a huge hitch lock, you can lock these closed with a padlock. Kind of eliminates, I wouldn't say eliminates, I mean, someone can always carry bolt cutters, but it always eliminates or makes it a little easier for you to keep your trailers nice and secured, built in there. We have our safety chains, we have our breakaway cable, and then again, our 7-pin connection is ran back to a housing right here. And this is a really nice trailer, 28 foot on the floor, 7'7" tall, 8 wide, really well equipped. This is something I would personally haul, like I said in the beginning of the video. Great little setup. If you're interested in this trailer, the stock number is 5N240985. Again, it's a 2025 Cimarron Norstar Proline XP by Outlaw, 13.8 short wall. It's a great trailer. We do have plenty of LQs right now, probably more LQs physically sitting on our lot than I can remember over the past 5 years. So if you're looking for an LQ, specifically, you know, a Cimarron with a nice Outlaw conversion in it, feel free to give us a call. We have 4 horses, 5 horses, 3 horses, all in various layouts. Smaller packages like this, giant packages. We have pretty much the smallest to the biggest you can probably find out there right now. We have a great selection. So if you're interested in this trailer, maybe some other trailers we have sitting on the lot, Or if you want to build your dream trailer with any options you want, like we talked as we were walking through the LQ, feel free to give me a call. Again, my name's Tanner here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick. Phone number is 303-684-3409. Thanks for tuning in.